All right, we are live. This is Toni Weel with Sarah from Virtuous Unicorns. I wish I had such a beautiful name to say.
You do have a beautiful name.
Virtuous Unicorns. Oh my gosh.
I
And
love unicorns for sure.
yeah, I had a unicorn, a small unicorn tattooed on my left shoulder. Oh my gosh, when was this? I think it was in 81. My first time in the United States on a motorcycle, and I wanted to have a tattoo. So it was a unicorn with a rainbow and a star.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I would love to have one, but at the same time, now that I know about them, I think twice.
Yeah, that's the same here. Always wanted to have like a butterfly on my foot, but it's like, nah, not anymore
Mm-hmm.
with
While we're on
everything.
this subject, what about, I believe we have touched about it before, but what about tattoo removal? Is there stuff that people should do
No,
prior to the removal?
no, just leave it as it is. My husband has two absolutely ugly tattoos on his arms. They turn like all green over the years. Well, mine doesn't get any sun, so it's still all pretty, colorful. It still looks nice. It's not faded away. The thing is, what I learned is that it's kind of encapsulated. And when you use, that is what I read, when you use these laser removals, it gets in the bloodstream. Do we want that, or it gets in the body? I wouldn't do it. I
Yeah, that's what I
mean,
was thinking. Like, is there a way to really make your body kind of healthy in order to prepare for it? If there's some that, a lot of people have a lot of tattoos now on their hands, and some people on their face and neck and stuff that definitely would like to have them removed or whatnot. And I'm not against tattoos by any means. I mean, it's your body, your journey. Some of them are just, they're absolutely beautiful and they're beautiful work. So I'm definitely not against anything like that. But the people who would be interested in removing them, is there anything that you should do to prepare your
well,
body for it?
it's the same thing with any toxins. Prepare your body and detox first. And yeah, make sure that you don't do it in the middle of it of a detox,
Right.
but it's detox first, and see how you feel, have it removed, detox again, but make sure your body is as healthy as it can be so it can
Right.
handle that. Because when we are healthier, of course we can handle way more than when we're not healthy, which is logic. I mean, why am I even saying that? Everybody knows that.
Sometimes we need to be reminded. Yeah, it was just because from what I've read is the laser, it doesn't actually remove it from your body. It just breaks it up into very small. But then, like you were saying, then it gets, I don't know, does it go to your bloodstream? Does it go to your lymphatic system? I don't know where it goes from there. Then to exit your body in some way, which I assume at that point you then would urinate it out or something like that.
Yeah, you have to detox it out. I mean, it goes somewhere, and yeah, it breaks up, but it's the tattoo that you already have. I mean, I've had mine for, my gosh, what is it now? 81 to now. That is 40 years. So I'm not going to mess with it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Exactly.
and I got a tiny blue, no, tiny white bird on my other shoulder. It's really, really small, less than an inch. And my husband has the same. That was when we met instead of rings. Isn't that neat?
Uh-huh. That is really neat. That is very neat.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say too that I love our chat. I love watching our chat and how everyone's talking to each other and looking for each other in the chat and whatnot. And I think we just have a fantastic little group of people. And I love reading all your comments and the way you interact with each other.
Okay, Katie, of course you have questions. Come on, tell me, tell us.
We love Katie's questions.
Yeah, or click on the link at the top and then you can join us live. You've done that before.
Absolutely.
I had invited two people that I read their post and I was very intrigued by it. And I will give you their names, because one said he would try to be here, and the other one wasn't sure if he could be here at all. And let me see, Della, I think it was Della Upshur. She is a long-term fruitarian, and she has actually a lot to share. So I thought it would be really interesting. So it's clear she couldn't make it today, but I will definitely invite her again for the next chat, because it's always good to hear from someone who has been doing this long-term and how she worked it out. And the other person is Chris M. Manley. You can find him on Facebook. He is a breatharian. And that is just one step further. And I started listening to more breatharians and how they do it. And one of the things that was said was that you really, really need to have your body completely detoxed before you can even think about going in that direction. And, as intrigued as I was when I heard about, only eating fruit quite a few years ago, I was like, is that even possible? And then I started doing it, and I realized, my God, I'm eating less and less. And it's like I could go a whole day and I even forgot that I've been busy. I haven't even eaten yet. Yeah, let's grab an apple or something. And it's like, yeah, I could eat something. So that was pretty interesting how that works. So I can see where you can go from eating fruit to a breatharian lifestyle. Now, it's not said that they will never eat or drink anything, because that is, from what I understand, not the case. But it's definitely very intriguing. Now, think about how the world could be if we can get to that point. We wouldn't have to worry about food shortages.
Absolutely. And destruction of the land, and what it does to the animals, the land, and whatnot. That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And I think we are too, what is it? Well, we're always talk about addictions to food, but it's like food rules everything. It rules our mood, our days. But in a way, I love food. I cannot say anything else. I love preparing food. I love creating recipes and coming up with the most delicious stuff. Is it a healthy thing to do? No, probably not.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I do not. I used to love canning. Like, I loved that process, but I never ever liked cooking, and I did like baking, but not cooking. Could never stand to cook. Maybe because I wasn't good at it.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty much anything and everything. I mean, creating, having barely anything in the house, and then still manage to create an awesome meal. That was always fun. And I was gonna write a book, and then I got into this, and I'm like, what am I gonna write about? How to peel an orange? It's like, or how to combine, how to make a smoothie. My gosh, you just put some juice and some fruit and put it all together, and there you have your smoothie. There's nothing really to it. So it's, yeah.
The more complicated, the more we probably shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. And the more that you start combining things, and I think we talked about that before. If you go to a restaurant, it's like, well, even you can go to a restaurant, even if you're detoxing, there's always something raw to eat. So don't worry about it too much. But then we load up our plates with 10 more ingredients. We don't eat one thing at a time. And when I was a child and we ate a salad, that was lettuce, and it had maybe a cucumber and maybe tomato, and that was it. That was your salad. And you didn't think twice about it. You didn't think about all the sauces and the dressings that it needed, and it was not complicated. And it's everything. Food has been made so complicated. Every dish that you see, wherever you are, It is always a whole bunch of things together. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I love, the whole, all these different things. And I remember one time I was at a Vietnamese restaurant where I lived. I lived in Holland, in Groningen. That's where I had my little fashion boutique. And after closing on Saturdays, we always went out for dinner. That was the only time actually that we went for dinner. And there was this new Vietnamese restaurant, and you could order something, and they had like 20, 25, maybe even 30 different things on the table, on your table. Small, tiny. I enjoyed it. You could sit there for hours and eat. Is it healthy? Not really.
It's an experience though too.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
it's many different things for you.
Yeah, it is. And it is like yeah, I get now, like, one thing at a time. Let's not make it too complicated. And should you experience those things once in a while, I think absolutely. But what I see now is that the food in the other side of the world, Asian countries, it didn't get any healthier over the years. There's a lot of meat and dairy and eggs. It's all about meat, dairy, and eggs. And it's like,
What's
okay, yeah. And if you would leave that out, what is left? Veggies. And well, that is sometimes not as much fun to eat. Okay, I have a friend that is arguing that white sugar is good for us and brains because it's just sucrose. Your thoughts? White sugar is that a food? Can you make a meal out of it? That's how you have to look at what you eat. Anything that you eat, can you make a meal out of it? I had a discussion with someone about hemp seeds. How healthy they are and how we can live on it, and then ask yourself, can you make a meal out of hemp seeds? Well, if they are whole, so that means that they're whole. The outside is taken off, because if you leave that on, you can barely crack them open with your teeth. It's like you have a little pebble in your mouth. So can you make a meal out of it? No. If you make it into a paste, and believe me, it is delicious. Hemp seed butter, delicious. Has this nut taste. Whole hemp seeds, huh? Not the one that are unhulled, because there's not really anything that you can do with it. Now, if you make a meal out of it, I've done it. Eat 2-3 tablespoons of hemp paste. It's delicious. You're full. And then you had so many proteins and fats. It gives me a stomach ache, and it definitely gives me a lot of pain in my body. So does it mean that it is unhealthy then? Well, ask again, are we supposed to eat seeds? And it's not even just the hemp seed, it is seeds in general. Who are the seeds meant for? Are they meant for us people, or are they meant for maybe the birds? Or are they just to grow the next crop? And should we ingest them or not? So that when you think about it, you see a lot of foods that have been popular because on the label it says how healthy it is and how many amino acids it has, and etc. etc. It has proteins that the body has to convert in amino acids, which takes a lot of energy in your body. But then it again comes: is this food really meant for us? And if you look at the hemp plant, yeah, I would eat the leaves. If I would be able to get the leaves fresh, I could put them in a smoothie or in a salad. But I have something with the nuts and the seeds, if they are really meant for human consumption. And if we cannot eat it as it is, or we cannot turn it into a meal, I think no, we cannot. But you were asking about the sugar. No, white sugar is not brain food, as much as that person would like it. You want to have fruit. You want to have the sugar of the fruit. But now there's another thing, is with cane sugar. Now we talk about cane sugar, and that is the granulated, that you buy, same as the white sugar. You have now the granulated sugar from cane sugar, not healthy. But on the other side, if you have sugar cane, I think we talked about that last time. You have the sugar cane and you use it, it's healthy because it is in its natural form. There's nothing, it hasn't been processed, it hasn't been bleached, there's nothing is done to it. So in the Netherlands, you have sugar beets, and they are really big beets, and they grow, well, pretty much everywhere in Holland. And they make sugar out of it. That is actually the white sugar, comes from sugar beets. Well, I haven't tried to eat a sugar beet as is. It would probably be healthier than with the processed white sugar that they eventually made out of it. But yeah.
I was just going to say too that I believe we're at, maybe there might be two different paths that people could be on. And one is it healthy? Can you eat it? Can you digest it? Do we have the tools to do it now? That kind of path it could be on. And also, I believe it has to do with your age. When I was younger, my body could handle so much, and it was nowhere near as sensitive as it is now. And as you get older, your body, especially if you've done more damage to it. So like if you're fortunate enough to find this path at a young age, you might not be doing as much damage to your body as somebody who is older has already done to it. So your body might adjust better to fats and things like that too. But the other path that I am at least currently focused on is that, more kind of like along the lines of the Bible and, God's path and whatnot, and trying to find that path and trusting that God has put everything here for us. Now, do I eat bread occasionally and stuff like that? Of course. But it is when you are eating something, it is, can I find this in nature? And can I get to it without using a tool that somebody's had to manufacture or whatnot? I know there's all kinds of discussions out there too that, God gave us the ability to think and build and make all these things as well. But if you're trying to go, you can even break that off into a couple different paths as well. But to really separate it into two different paths is, are you trying to go more like a biblical type of way of eating? Or are you just looking to see if it's healthy and can your body really handle it?
Yeah, it's see what our body could handle. For me, a long time ago, I lost my gallbladder when I was 19 years old. That was one thing. I was 2 years after that. I've been eating stuff that I shouldn't have been eating after being on a pretty healthy diet for quite a long time. I got something. I was paralyzed from the neck down. I had the weirdest thing happening, and still feeling healthy and still keep pretty much eating the same thing, although it wasn't meat for me, because I have been vegetarian, vegan, I have to say off and on, but I've never been a fan of eating meat. Now I got to a point after being on raw and fruit for quite some time, is that my body is clearer in what it can handle and what not. Seeds for me is results in pain. It results in inflammation in the body. So that tells me it's not a good food. My husband, who doesn't have the same inflammation, he doesn't respond to that the same way. Although he has brain fog, and I see that getting worse when he eats a cooked meal. So you just have to go, but what are the results and what can you do? Of course, we get older and we have more and more symptoms because we weren't listening to the first symptom, and just keep going and keep doing whatever we want to do. So it's listen to your body. By the way, Grant, it is interesting that you say raw sugar is not white, raw flour is not white, raw salt is not white. Is there such a thing as raw sugar if it is not fruit? Do you feel that when you see a package and it shows raw sugar and it is brown, that it is not processed? As soon as it's processed, it's raw. It's not raw anymore. And that word raw is not protected. You can call anything and everything raw. And that is the same with, oh my God, what is that? I put it in my lemon water in the morning.
Is it maple syrup?
Maple syrup.
Yeah, I was like, I remember you saying that.
You can buy organic raw maple syrup. Well, look it up. There are videos about it. There are videos about how the whole processing is. It is extremely processed. They still call it raw. So be careful when you think, well, it's raw, so it must be healthy. It is not. At any time when something is processed, it is foreign to the body. It's not natural anymore.
Right. So, and granted, it's just boiled down. It's heated down. So now, which I will still use maple syrup here and there in certain things, just depending on, what it is, because I really like sweet, but it's boiled down. So as it's boiling, it's definitely not raw anymore, because it has to be boiled for, if you're doing it by yourself outside over a fire, I mean, it's done all day long and sometimes into the evening. So it's definitely being heated beyond like a raw temperature in the first place.
Yeah, and I saw something about is dried fruits okay? It would be yeah, it is my choice when I'm traveling and I cannot have fresh stuff with me. I have dried fruit with me. Now the thing is, when we buy dried fruit, and I know one company, they have amazing organic dried fruits, and this is nuts.com. And especially their mangoes are delicious. They are really, really great. Now the question is, at what temperature was it dried? Probably not under 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. So now you can wonder, okay, is it still healthy? Because now it's heated. So it is, use it sparingly. It is with dates is a different story. I think they are like sun-dried tomatoes. They don't go in a big heat hydrator.
And dates can be used in place of maple syrup too. So if you're trying to be purely raw or purely on that biblical type food journey, then you can use the dates in place of the maple syrup.
Absolutely, and I do that too. And yeah, Grant, you're right. When you eat sugar cane out of the field, can you tell me what to do with all the sugar cane that I have in my yard? It's ready for harvesting, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And I don't have, and you need one of these manual juicers. My God, they are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the stuff is really really good. We had it at Dr. Morse's when I took the iridology classes a few years ago. There was somebody selling the cane, the sugar cane juice, and I've seen it on farmers markets too. They press it right where you are. You order a glass, and they press one of these big stalks.
That's really neat.
It's good.
And I think I should retract something that I did say, was that, I'm on that biblical type path, which I am, and I think about it. And so those are usually my first thoughts. Do I always follow that path? No, because I juice oranges and I use a citrus juicer to do it. So obviously I'm not, but I do that because I use that as a form of like detoxing and getting the juice and hydrating my body to the best that I can, because I can't sit down and eat that much fruit in the first place either. So I do it in a juice form. The other thing I wanted to retract before I forget too, last week we talked about the flowers that first emerged. I kept calling them daisies. They're dandelions. So it's the dandelion. that has so many benefits. Daisies are beautiful, but the bees look for the dandelions on that. So I wanted to correct what I said last week.
Okay,
We have
guys. Sorry to interrupt you, Sarah. We have Della with us. And hi, Della. This is Toni. I'm the one who invited you.
Yes, and I'm Sarah, Virtuous Unicorns. Hello.
I don't know if Della can hear us yet. No, there is no, there's no microphone. So Della, if you can hear it, you have to turn on your microphone. Okay, I'll send her a message.
Okay.
So you can talk.
Della's getting connected. I wanted to say also real quick before we go too far past Katie's comment about she's trying to help some people with diabetes. One of the ways that I did that instead of trying to convert them to just fruit only alone is try to at least tell them to get rid of all the fat in their body. Even if they still want to eat meat and everything right now, get as close to zero fat as possible, because the main thing about diabetes is it's almost like your muscle is marbled, like how they have marbled meat, and that's called intermyocellular lipid, which means fat within the muscle, and that prevents the sugars from getting to where it needs to go. So if they can at least cut out all the fat, and then they'll see results on that pretty nicely, then maybe they'll start listening to maybe the next step. So that could be a very good beginner baby step for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to try again if Della can hear us. Della, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
No, we do it as a podcast. We both stay yeah. We don't do it as a video. So I'm sorry.
It's all right. So I stopped my video because I wasn't dressed anyway, so it's better.
Yeah, I saw Della's responses in a Facebook group, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to invite her. We have to hear from her. From what I understood, you are a long-term fruitarian. Can you tell a little about yourself and how you got there?
Yeah, I've been raw. This is my 8th year, and before going raw, I'd had a triple heart bypass. I had many things. I had arthritis. I suffered vertigo. Really, and the doctors actually said to me, "There's not a lot more." Because I was at the doctors all the time, my heart was struggling. I was already on like 7 or 8 meds for my heart, and I used to have to take a GNT spray to open up my arteries if I went to the market and I had to climb the hill that the market was on. And then my stepdaughter, who was only 5 years younger than myself, had a massive heart attack, and she said, Della, they want to give me a triple heart bypass. I said, well, you've got to have it. She said, no, there is other ways, Della, no, I'm not having it. And I said, well, I better read the book that you're reading. And from the first few pages, because I'd always done various diets and everything, but only to look good, not really for my health. And from the first few pages, I realized that I'd been causing the problems to my body, and I changed overnight. I just went completely raw overnight. It was scary because, you can't go to a doctor and tell them I'm going raw, can you still help me? They'll just say, well, no, because we need you to stay on your medication, which they did say to me when I did try to tell them. So I went it alone. And within 3 months, I wouldn't advise anybody to do this. I would advise to go with a Nature's Cure practitioner or whoever, other than being prescribed prescriptions. And I was off all my meds, and I've never looked back, really. I do still suffer sometimes I've got no heart problems whatsoever. I'm not on any heart meds anymore. I'm not on any medication. I've never taken anything since I realised that it's just adding to my disease. And I went from crawling around and using a GNT spray to actually, I run most days 3 kilometres, and I walk about 5. And I've just, because they reckon I had arthritis, and I used to have to take nerve tablets, sleeping tablets, cortisone injections, be laid up. It didn't rear its ugly head for 7 years. And then all of a sudden, I had last week or the week before, I had tremendous hip pain and shoulder pain. I'm 66 years old. I must admit, I'm a health freak, and I was using an outside gym, the machinery to do upper body workout and my hip workout. But I was also carrying 2 backpacks, one on my front, one on my back, of my shopping. It could be 2 cauliflowers, half a dozen, like at least 10 or 15 kilos I must have been carrying. And then I got this hip and shoulder pain. And because I won't take any medication, I've started dipping in the sea. And the sea has been around 9 degrees, and alternative medicine, and it's gone. I've got no aches and pains, and I've not had to take any medication. So it's not just my diet, it's what I actually do as well. I'll give you an idea of what my daily food intake is. And I'm 5'2". I am 50 kilos, which is perfect. I've always all my life wanted to be 50 kilos, which is 114 pounds or 8 stone. And I did drop a lot of weight. I dropped below 7 because I do believe that I had a lot of diseased material in my body. I dropped below the weight that I wanted to be, stuck with it, and gained the healthy weight back on by doing what I do now. And so my day goes like this. 10 a.m. I have a carrot, apple, orange juice. I might add some celery or something in with it, and that's my drink at 10 a.m. 1 a.m. then I have 5 bananas, 2 mangoes, and what's the other thing? 400 grams of grapes. And I drizzle a papaya, not a papaya, I drizzle, can't remember the name of it now, a little round thing over the top of it. And that's my lunch. And then pre-dinner, I have 10 or 12 tangerines or clementines. And then I have a huge salad about half an hour after that. I drink very little water because and I wouldn't advise anybody to do this. It's something that's evolved as I've evolved. I don't drink any water for months and months. I don't drink any water. And I'm hydrated and I feel absolutely fantastic. So that's me. Are you there?
That's amazing. I love to hear that. I mean, we know it can be done. And the thing was because there is now so much on the internet about people going away from the fruit and back into meat and dairy and eggs and even people I know very well and respected very well, but the way things have been going, it's like, my gosh, we don't want to have to create a fear for this lifestyle because we are frugivores, that is how our body is designed. So what the heck are they thinking by adding, dairy and meat to it again?
Well, I think I know, I won't name no names, but I was following somebody. I had my irises read. I did all what I did myself for the first 8 months before I read the 80-10-10 diet by Dr. Graham. that's my diet. And you was speaking when I first came on about fat. It's, you know, it's really important to keep the fat at 10%. You know, I've proved this because I think I've reversed my clogged arteries. Well, I 100% know that I've reversed my clogged arteries. So my fat, which would be half an avocado or a tablespoon of tahini, will have that with the last meal. And I've fallen over real hard on ice and never broke anything, you know. So I know this person that has been spreading fear, and it terrified me, to be honest. It terrified me. I've had to, and I did like following this person because when it was just fruit, you know, and it was fantastic. But now he's starting pushing meat, and you know, it's wrong. It's you know, dogs are meant to eat meat, not humans. And that's why you know, I would never have needed this triple heart bypass had I of given up. It's not the fruit that heals us, it's what we give up that allows our body to heal.
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, I know this person, but what I've had to do, because you know, you've got to stay on track, you know, you've got to follow people that are that you know are long-term fruitarians, or you know, long plant-based basically, but not if somebody because how could I ever change back when I was back there? I was really ill. So you know, this person probably has not been as ill as I have, and then recovered. It's all about cleaning your tubes, and I don't know what they say, but you know, the lymphatic system and everything. We got to live day by day, and you know, I think if that happens as we're living, which it has done for me, then you know, my body does its healing crisis. You know, I go through healing crisis. And now these people say, I never get a cold, I never get flu, you know, I never, and so I think, well, there's something wrong if you're not getting, because the only way we can shrug off toxins is if we have a healing crisis, and that's if the temperature rises above 37.1. Which has happened to me many times. It's happened at least 8 or 9 times in the last 7 years, and I did get the coronavirus as well. But to me, I just treated that as another healing crisis, and I took to my bed and abstained from eating anything at all. And when my body felt like drinking, which it didn't for the first 2 days, I just drank fresh coconut water. And then what happens? The tongue is all yellow and you know, and bad. And this last one, I actually didn't feel like anything for 10 days. So I actually went, and that's the longest I've ever gone. I've been advised that I shouldn't go longer than 3 days fasting. And I actually went for 10 days where I just couldn't eat anything. And I came out the other side feeling a lot better. Each time I have a healing crisis, I come out cleaner and I run faster. Yeah.
That's nice. I like the run faster.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's my, because I can run. I'm shocked that I can run. Because for like 10, you know, from 45 to 59, I was crawling around. And, you know, what a waste of life, you know. But now I feel like if I die tomorrow, because I don't know if I'm going to live any longer, because I've been interfered with, you know, I've had a hysterectomy, I've had a triple heart bypass, you know, I've been interfered with, but I feel 20. I don't feel, I feel that I'm living the best life that I ever have, since I'm 59. Before 59, I was just in a very poorly body, and I was just waiting to die, basically. But now I just feel, wow, it's fantastic. You know, the things that I spent like 50 nights and 50 days in hospital just recently looking after my sister, and it didn't faze me. You know, I can just go and go and go. I do like an afternoon nap. I have about 20 minutes or 30-minute nap in the afternoon, and I'm ready to go again then after that. Sorry, ladies, I will wrap it on.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear how your diet is, and mine was actually pretty much the same. Although I think I ate a little less fruit than you did, but it is a good example on how you can live on all fruit. Now, when you have your fruit, do you worry if it is seedless?
No, I don't. See, the thing is, if I worried about things like that, I would never have gone on this journey. So I don't worry about it being organic. I try my best. I tell you for why as well. About 2 years into going raw, I had a diagnostic where they put you on a machine. They you go on a machine and they can tell things that are wrong that in your body. And he said, you've got the cleanest body for toxins that I've ever seen. And that gave me the confidence then, because I might even go 6 months just eating fruit. And I've had blood tests in the beginning. I was terrified like everybody else. And because I was things that are wrong that, in your body. And he said, you've got the cleanest body for toxins that I've ever seen. And that gave me the confidence then, because I might even go 6 months just eating fruit.
I think I don't know who it is, but needs to mute the YouTube.
Like everybody else, and because I was fattened.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so no, I don't worry about. I'm lucky I can get organic lettuce, organic cucumber, organic celery, but most of the produce is in skins. Like my tangerines are in skins, my mangoes are in skins, my bananas are in skins. So I'm less, likely to worry about it. But I eat masses of grapes. I eat 400 grams, 7 boxes of grapes a week, which is, about 3 kilos of grapes a week, and they're unseeded and they're not organic. So, and I feel the best I ever have done. So, I'm not going to worry too much about what I put in, as long as I'm keeping it fruit, then, if you see what I mean. Obviously, if I could buy it all organic, if I could afford to, because, my bill is quite hefty. If I could afford to do it, but you can't find it anyway. And sometimes, I can open a bag of clementines, and if they don't taste right, I won't eat that bag. I'll put it in a sauce or something. I'll make a sauce with that bag, and then, so I can't just eat, my bananas have to be spotty, my mangoes have to be soft. I can't just eat. I won't just go to the supermarket. I can't buy things straight away and eat them. I've got to really, a week in advance, I've got to do most things.
That's really good. I mean, we're very pro grapes. Grapes are just amazing and helping you heal and hydrating you and whatnot. And we say the same thing. We say that the fruit gives your body the energy and hydration, but your body is what really heals you. And herbs can help as well, but overall, it's really the body. And like you said, eliminating things to allow your body to heal. Yes. And then giving it the fruit, because that's the most easy to digest also.
Yeah.
That's definitely so wonderful.
Yeah, no, you know, I feel amazing after I've eaten. You know, I have slipped up in the past, and you know, it's made me even, because what happens then? I get a heaviness in my stomach, and I just don't feel that I want to go on my run. It's crazy, really, you know. And the way that I eat, I go to the toilet exactly the same time each morning. And you know, I can't go on, I know it sounds crude, but I can't go on a run if I haven't, you know, gone to the toilet.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, it's a whole different game, you know. I don't know if you've seen my before and after photos.
I have not.
No, that if you Google me, if you Google Della Upshur, lots. I was quite shocked, actually, because we were Googling, you know, like famous people, and I said, oh, let's Google me, not for 1 minute thinking I'd be there. And I said, how old is Della Upshur? And the machine come back at me and said, Della Upshur is 66 years old. So yeah, there's lots of videos over the years of my journey, and it will show photos because I've got the body now. My body, like my neighbour, when I went over to visit her, said to me, God, you look like a 16-year-old coming across the drive. But it's not until I look at your face I can see you're not 16, you know.
That's so neat. And we believe too that, you know, when you get on this path and you're kind of trusting more of the path that God has put out there, I shouldn't say we, because that means I'm speaking for Toni as well, but that death will pass us over and you can start, you know, becoming young again and having that vitality again and just like literally degressing in age.
Definitely. Have you ladies, are you raw, or are you, what are you, you know, what, I don't know anything about yourself. So what is your diets like?
Mine is all raw and high fruit.
Okay.
And, I am a Dr. Morse practitioner. I've been for 3.5 years on this path now.
Okay.
And before that, I was actually following Milk Medium, which still had cooked food, but no meat, dairy, and eggs. So that was a good thing. But there was too much oil and seeds and nuts, and I was just getting sicker and sicker until I met Dr. Morse, and he was like, "You better leave that out," and that made a big difference in healing. I still have a long way to go. I have my lifelong thyroid issues. I have really bad arthritis, that's psoriasis. Probably if I would go to a doctor, they would probably have me leave with 20 pills because I have everything under the sun. But the first thing that I learned is it doesn't matter, you know, what label it's been giving. You're just acidic, and fix the acidity in your body by leaving out the junk food and give your body time to heal. So to me, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's you know, it's a journey. And I heard years ago, for 1 month for every year that you have been unhealthy. Well, when I look back, I was born unhealthy. I was born with issues. So okay, I have quite a few more years to go. So,
yes, me too. Yeah. I feel the same.
And yes, you are right. There is no way back. We cannot go back on the food that made us sick. That is just ridiculous. And that is, you know, with the person that we talked about before, he is in a very aggressive way now, pushing things. And to me, it feels like meat eaters are usually aggressive. And Dr. Morse brought out a new video today, and he is again addressing it. But he also says people, they eat what they want to eat. It doesn't matter to any of us what they want to eat. It is just bringing out the wrong information. And if you have, like what he claims, 7 years teaching people anything that was, fruitarian, and he wrote more than 1,000 articles, of which I was going to make into an ebook, so it would be available for people. But now that is kind of, he wouldn't even want his name on it.
No.
But yeah, I do have to say I did learn a lot from him. And
Yeah.
he has been doing the iridology reports for him, because it's for me, I don't have the time. And it kind of saddens me, the route that he has been going, and how aggressively he is at Dr. Morse, because Dr. Morse doesn't deserve that. The thing is, if you choose to follow someone and it doesn't work out as you expected, you move on.
Yes.
You move on. You made the choice to follow that person. And if you now have a different belief about, what you had learned in those years and what you followed, it was still your choice. Nobody, put a gun to your head to follow that route. So, yeah.
No, that's right. I wanted to post. I wanted to say, I'm 7 years living, eating. But I thought, knowing John, oh, sorry, I've said the name.
That's okay. We all know.
He'll come back and he'll say, I read your eyes. I know what's wrong with your body. And I thought, best not to go there, just get him out of my life. And that's what I've done. It's a shame because, I did learn a lot from him. But, there's something wrong with the man. Definitely something wrong with him.
I actually don't know who he is, and nor do I follow him, so I can't speak anything on that. But even if, things have turned the way they sound like they've turned, I always still just view it as it was a stepping stone to get you to where you need to go, and so that you can flourish and you can change. And, your path is there, but he may speak to other people that will also use him as a stepping stone or something like that to catapult them to where they need to be as well. Because I know a lot of us took the same path to get to even where we are right now too. And, even though we don't agree with what they say, they still helped us to become the people we are today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true. I mean, that is why it is a journey, and you learn so much from everyone, and you have to figure out for yourself. I always call it, you filter what you can use and what makes sense to you. It is only for me, it's, as a practitioner, it's my job to empower people with the truth, with knowledge. But the truth, I got the information from Dr. Morse, and the more that I learned and figured out myself with growing fruit and see how my body responds to it, it's like, yeah, I can see where things are going wrong. And I've used the stepping stones and many, really many. And I was also pretty much, well, you could call it the queen of supplements, because I ate supplements before I would eat food, because I thought they were, keeping me alive before I knew better. And when I knew better, I stopped it, all at once. There is so much to learn, and it is like when I ask you, if you would eat seeded fruit, and it's like we eat what we can get, and to even say that the soil is so depleted, we cannot have anything healthy. And actually, I was thinking about the meat that he is promoting now. It's like those cows eat grass. How healthy is that grass then? How healthy are these cows? Can we even say, those are really healthy cows because they are grass fed? Yeah, right. I don't know, how that grass is, how many pesticides and God knows what else is on there. But you have to ask these questions, and for yourself to learn, and so that things are making sense.
I know by the way my body is, and because the pain that I had in my hip last week it was 4 days ago actually. I did start doubting myself, and somebody said, "Oh, I would go to the doctor. I would go and see, maybe you've discalated, maybe you've done something to your hip." Now, it was only my hip at that time; it wasn't my arm, and I was doubting myself. And but I haven't got a practitioner. I'm not with a doctor anymore, and it's not easy to register with a doctor. But then when this pain came in my arm as well, I thought, well, it can't be, I can't have something out of place. And to be able to heal myself with, hot and cold therapy and going in the sea and, by what I eat, it's put me on my path. It's put me on my path again that I 100% know what I'm doing is correct. Are you there?
Yeah, we are all still here. We were just waiting till you were finished.
Sorry.
Okay, I just see something coming up about urine therapy, and I think we talked about that before. But and Dr. Morse just brought a new video out about it, and to me, it's a big no. I mean, other people will swear by it no matter what. To me, it doesn't make sense. And I actually have a video from Ilana, and I think it is Ilana, and I always forget her last name. And I do have I transcribed it, so I have it in text. And what she did was not saying she is against or for urine therapy, but she explains exactly what it is, and then everybody can make their own choices. My choice is to not use it, and with my clients, I would say no, don't do it. I mean, it is toxins that are leaving your body. If we were meant to ingest it again, somebody once told me our mouth would be at a different spot. It is, it's getting out of the body because it needs to get out of the body. And when you look at it and you think logically, then, my God, we were not born with a cup in our hands. Yeah, we can cup our hands to maybe to get it and then put it to our mouth. But how much sense would that make? It doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, if anybody is interested in that transcript and the video, because I have that on the same document, I would love to send it to you. Just send me a message and let me know if you really want to learn about it, about what it is. And yeah, that's actually all I need to say about it. It's I cannot explain it as well as Ilana did, because my gosh, that was almost an hour-long video. Mm-hmm. But she really goes into the details and into all the claims that have been made about what is actually in the urine. So she goes into all of that. So it's a really interesting video. And to read. Yeah, well, great that it healed you, JV, but I cannot, knowing what it is, I cannot say go for it, and that will not change. That will really not change.
So is there somebody here now that does urine therapy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's yeah.
My advice on that one is that I have got an open mind. Because the thing is, I've healed myself by doing what I'm doing, and if I would at a later date, I would, if I wasn't as well as I am and something happened, I would try it, I must admit, because there's so much written of the good things, and I do follow people that have been doing this for years and years and years, and they've not, and they're thriving. So I keep an open mind. I really do keep an open mind.
I have seen the eyes of people who had been drinking it for years. In iridology, you can see what is all going on in the body.
All right.
It wasn't good.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so okay, well, we actually reached another hour again. I like to keep our podcast an hour long.
Toni, may I say something real quick before we
absolutely?
I just wanted to say that even if urine therapy does have its benefits, I have no idea what percent, but I'm very sure it's quite high, of the people that should not be drinking their own urine. I mean, if it takes 1 month for every year you've been sick or something like that to heal. And so I believe if you're going to do any kind of urine therapy, I would say that you better be pretty close to being a breatharian before you can start drinking your own urine, because your urine is the way to get rid of any of your toxins that you do have in your body, whether it's backed up lymph or not. So why would you want to be regurgitating that at this time? And if I'm in the same boat with that as I am in with fasting, that I don't believe majority of the population is ready for any kind of long-term fasting. If you're doing it because you're sick, or you're doing it over a weekend, or you're doing it under the care of someone such as Toni or Dr. Morse, then I believe that's a completely different story. But majority of us are not ready to start drinking their own urine.
No, I agree there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then you come to it when you are detox and you are healthier, then what is actually a reason for drinking your own urine?
Well, you said healthier. So, in what I'm visualizing is you've probably been a fruitarian for many, many years. And like I said, you're on your way to being almost like a breatharian, to whereas there should be absolutely nothing coming out of that. And I know some of the benefits from urine therapy, but I think we're, as a population in whole, we're so far off from being able to do that. But
yeah,
that could be a whole nother topic, but that's just where I stand. I don't think that we are healthy enough to try to take anything more recycling through our body that could give us any benefits right off the bat.
Brilliant topics. I've really enjoyed.
Well, thank you, Della,
so much
for being here. And the way that I do it, when we do this every Thursday at noon Eastern time. And I will always put the Zoom invite in the chat, so all that people who want to join us can just click on it and come on in.
So it's about this time that you do it, is it?
Yes.
About at 5 o'clock.
You're in the UK. Is there only there's 5 hours difference. Yes, correct.
Yeah, 5 p.m. All right. Yeah, that would be brilliant.
I see some people are asking about the weight, losing too much weight. We can go in that next week. If you want to talk with me, you know how to reach me, and we can go over that. I have some more information about the how and why and what you need to do. It's often related to cleaning out your GI tract, and pancreas can be involved. So I would need to know more to give a good answer for that. And well, I want to thank everybody for being here. It was a joy as usual.
Absolutely.
We always have something to talk about. You know, it was like when we first started out with probably 20 questions that people had been sending in. And I was like, oh, I get less questions. Do we have anything to talk about? We always do.
Yep.
We always do, but no, I think that was grand. Or is that you make it 2 hours? No, let's stick with 1 hour. That is easy, doable for all of us, and the rest just has to wait till the next time. And you know, if you want to talk to me, you can always schedule a chat, and I'm usually available on a pretty short notice, so that can work out. So. Thanks for being here. Love you all, and look forward to next week. So
Yes.
thanks.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh.